In 1980, Alton Towers would receive its first ever roller coaster, that being the Corkscrew. After that, Alton Towers would continue to receive many more rides, making it into a theme park. Many of these new experiences would be highly inspired by Disney, however on a much lower budget. In May 1977, Disneyland California would open a brand new roller coaster named Space Mountain. In 1983, the Space Mountain concept would make its way to the UK at Alton Towers Resort. This is the story of the black hole.
In Alton Towers you will find you can leave your cares behind. Here's a new world just for you. There's so much to see and do. It's the only place to be. Fun for all the family at Alton Towers now.
John Broome, the former director of Alton Towers, had a vision to transform the historical estate into a brand new leisure attraction. Most of the rides in the UK were located at seaside amusement parks rather than full-on theme parks. After visiting Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm and Walt Disney World, John Broome had come up with a plan to bring something like this to the UK. In 1980, Alton Towers would become a theme park with a standard price of entry of £2.50. While Alton Towers did not have the budget of Disney to create custom attractions, their first and one of the most iconic rides would be the Corkscrew. Visitors waited over 6 hours to ride the Corkscrew, so obviously it was a massive marketing success. This season as a theme park would see one of Alton Towers' most successful seasons, with over 1 million visitors each paying an admission fee. With Alton Towers becoming busier, the park needed more rides to deal with longer queues. The very next year, in 1981, Alton Towers would install the longest log flume in the world, once again bringing new guests to the park. In 1994, even more rides were added to combat the queuing while also providing guests with more fun. £4 million was invested into 6 new rides, increasing the capacity hugely. Attendance to the park would rapidly increase with all of the new flat rides. While 5 out of these new rides would be standard flat rides, one of them would be ready to rival the Corkscrew. With inspiration from Disney, once again, this would prove one of the most popular rides at the park of all time.
If it's excitement you want, like the Corkscrew, then try the Black Hole, a new, terrifying space ride in total darkness.
Costing £2 million, the Black Hole opened in the year 1994. In the late 1960s, Schwarzkopf would manufacture the jet-style type of roller coaster, which debuted at the Travelling Fair circuit. Just a few years later, the company would go on to create the Jetstar 2 model of ride, basically an upgrade from the previous Jetstar model. The main difference between the two is that the Jetstar 2 had a spiral lift hill and could seat 6 in a car rather than just 4. This would go on to be the exact off-the-shelf model Alton Towers would go for. The ride had a top speed of 45 miles per hour and a top height of 585 meters. Unlike other funfair models, this Jetstar 2 would be located inside a large green and yellow tent. This meant that the off-the-shelf coaster could be turned into something amazing and unique. The Black Hole was located in Fantasy World, one of Alton Towers' multiple themed areas, with the Black Hole becoming one of the biggest rides in that area. The Black Hole was the UK's answer to Space Mountain.
Jettison Disneyland 1, Space Mountain Code 2, clear for takeoff.
Instrumentation.
Instrumentation, go.
Propulsion.
Go.
Starting.
Go.
Electrical.
Go.
All personnel, clear the launch platform.
Space Mountain. It could only happen at Disneyland.
Experience it now.
The roller coaster instantly became a must-do for all UK enthusiasts, while many wondered what would await them on the inside of the large, intimidating tent. The station was themed to outer space, with even some special effects. Remember this theme, it will come in handy a little later on. Once boarding the space-themed train, you would slowly climb the spiral lift hill on what would feel like forever, only building up the anticipation on what awaited. What really awaited was many twists and turns, not really anything exciting in this day and age. However, with the ride being in darkness and not knowing what was coming up, the ride was pretty thrilling. The Black Hole was very well received, and that season visitors to the park increased to 2 million, with the Black Hole becoming a staple attraction alongside the Corkscrew. About a month after opening, an accident would occur with one of the trains derailing. Some newspapers stated that somebody had died on the ride, however that was not true. 4 days later, the ride returned to normal operation. A few modifications came to this ride, such as added lighting to help riders brace themselves for the first drop, and some sections of the track were smoothed out.
This is Alton Towers. And this is Alton Towers.
The lines to the black hole were very long, with the capacity of the ride only being 900 per hour. For the 1988 season, the coaster was dismantled and transported to Europe, where it had an overhaul to accommodate dual-car trains. The reconstructed coaster reopened and was briefly named the Black Hole 2, then the New Black Hole in 1989, before reverting to the original name when Oblivion opened. The old trains to this ride were moved to another very similar ride at the park, with that being the Beast. This was a Jetstar 3 model purchased from the travelling fair circuit with no trains. This ride would often be confused with the Black Hole, with many people saying it was the Black Hole but outside. The Beast, or later known as the New Beast, would be sold to a different park in 1997. In 1996, the Black Hole would receive modernised restraints and a steampunk-themed station, accompanied by new effects in the queue line. The opening of Oblivion brought the redevelopment of Fantasy World into X Sector. The Black Hole was integrated into this new themed area with yet another refurbishment. The colour scheme of the original tent was changed from yellow and green to a deep blue, with a new entrance to the ride. The X Sector area was actually meant to be a steampunk themed area called Port Discovery, with Oblivion being a Victorian drill. However, the only part of this theme that went ahead was the re-themed station of the Black Hole. The X Sector theme was chosen, and Oblivion would take over the area with its sinister theme.
Look down.
Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster at Alton Towers.
As mentioned previously, the Black Hole was renamed to just the Black Hole rather than the New Black Hole when Oblivion opened alongside a reimagined facade. In late 2004, rumours were circulating that the ride could be removed for the 2005 season. After 21 seasons of thrilling guests, it would be confirmed that the ride would run for its last time on the 5th of March 2005. This was due to high maintenance costs of the ride. An exclusive event was held marking the end of the Black Hole's life, taking riders on a behind-the-scenes tour of the ride. Alongside that, names were put into a hat to decide who would be the last riders of this iconic ride. 2005 would be the last season of two iconic attractions at the park, the Black Hole and Toyland tours, but that's for another video. The Black Hole was dismantled the very next season and was just left sitting on the ground, with rumours saying it had been sold to another park. In 2007, the ride was transported to an unknown location, but later in 2011, the ride had been refurbished and was now operating. Surprisingly, the ride still operates to this day in Sweden and is now named the Rocket, however it is no longer in a tent. The ride's tent was left abandoned, however 6 years later, during the park's annual Halloween Scarefest event in October 2011, the Black Hole building was used to house the Scare Maze attraction and more during a period of a few seasons. This was the first time the structure had been put into public use since the attraction's closure in March 2005. In 2012, the tent was demolished and plans were in place for a new record-breaking roller coaster.
Join us. You belong to the Smiler.
The Smiler, the world's first 14-looping roller coaster. Book now at altontowers.com.
Did you ride the Black Hole? Let me know in the comment section down below, and if you did enjoy this short documentary, consider subscribing, as I make theme park content every week for you to enjoy. And with all that said and done, thank you for watching Theme Park Enthusiast, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.